In today's video, I want to give you a step-by-step, very actionable plan that you can take if you want to lose weight starting right now. The first step is do nothing. So hear me out. Week 1, and you've heard this before, but I'll say it again, just track everything you are doing. Track what you're eating, track what you are drinking, and just see how much movement you are doing. Week 2, well, during week 1, you're going to track, and that's where you're going to get honest with yourself. The reason you're just going to track everything is to build awareness, not to shame yourself, not to feel guilty. This is just to build awareness of your daily habits and to be aware of all the little things that you do put into your mouth, all the foods, all the drinks, all the little extra sneaky calories, the lick here, the bite there, the extra little cappuccino or the muffin or whatever it is that you just grab. Just to be aware, not to shame yourself, not to guilt yourself, but just to track your habits so that you can get very, very honest with yourself so that you will understand why you may be at the weight you are at. Week 2, in the beginning of week 2, I want you to, don't be lazy now, go onto Google, type in online calorie calculator. Please do this step. It is so important. What I want you to do is get your baseline amount of calories. So how many calories you need to survive before you add in exercise. There's a few ways you can do this. You can work out how many calories you're currently eating, and that is your current maintenance calories for your size, the size you don't want to be because you clicked on this video and you want to lose weight. Then you can type in your goal weight, how many calories you want to lose. It's all there for you. The online calculator will prompt you and tell you what to do and what to put in. So you can put in your goal weight. It'll tell you how many calories you need to cut back on and what your daily calories should look like, the amount you should be eating to lose that weight. Please don't try and just guesswork this on your own. So you must figure out your goal weight calories, the amount of calories you need to be eating to get your goal weight. When you're there, you'll either stick to that amount or you may go up by a few hundred calories to a new maintenance level, depending on if you've increased your activity. But it really is about finding your calorie budget that you need to eat in order to lose weight. This step is so important. Calories do matter, they count. If you want to lose weight, you cannot do it in a caloric surplus. If you are not losing weight, you are not in a deficit. By definition, that's how it works. Now, I know everyone freaks out, like they don't want to count calories. It sounds like too much hard work. Ladies, I promise you, if you use a food tracking app, and you don't have to do it forever, but that is step 2 in week 2, is to download and get familiar with a food tracking app. So remember, week 1, you're just tracking what you're doing. You're just seeing where you are. You're overweight, you're unhappy with your weight, you're just seeing what are your habits, how did you get to this weight. Week 2, you're going to figure out the amount of calories you need. It's probably around 1,600 calories, in that range, somewhere there or thereabouts, in order to lose weight. Maybe for you it's 1,700 calories. If you're a petite, tiny woman, it could be 1,500 calories. You figure out your daily calorie budget, and then you need to use a food tracking app, especially if you've never done this before. If you are a complete beginner, use a food tracking app and practice logging your food. You don't have to be perfect the first time you do it. You will stuff up. You will make mistakes. That's okay. That is how learning works. It is a learning curve, but it is such a useful technology. Why wouldn't you use it? Now, when I competed on stage, there were no food tracking apps back then. That was 2012. That was a long time ago. So I just had to stick religiously to the plan. The problem was, if I didn't see the results I wanted, I didn't really have any data to look at to figure out what I did wrong. I could only just go back in my mind and say, okay, I didn't follow the plan 100%, but I didn't really know why, what was working, what wasn't working. Did I hit my protein goals? I don't know. It is so much easier if you use a food tracking app, and so many of them nowadays are so good. You can scan barcodes of the foods you buy, and they just tell you all the information you need. So I highly encourage it. If you don't want to track using a food tracking app, that's also fine. You can write stuff down, but to try and store it all in your head, it's not going to work. It's up to you. The stricter you are, or the more you follow a plan of some sort, the more you will see results. If you just kind of like wing it and do whatever, just be prepared that you may not hit your weight loss goal either as soon as you would like or at all. And that's also okay. There is no judgment. There's no shame. There's no guilt. Just be honest. Be realistic with yourself. Week 3, I want you to start following some sort of meal plan. You need to start food prepping. This is so important. Now notice, I haven't even mentioned exercise yet because the majority of your weight loss comes from your nutrition, from what you eat. You can exercise until you are blue in the face. You cannot outdo a bad diet. Now, you can eat the quote-unquote wrong foods. There is no wrong food, but you could eat treat foods and still lose weight if you are within your calorie budget. That's perfectly, it happens. It's not advisable though. Ladies, I still want you to aim to be healthy while you're doing all of this. Please try and be healthy. Think about fiber. Think about hitting protein goals. It's for your longevity. It's for your health. It's for feeling good in your body. So again, it's not to shame you or guilt you or make you like that's another thing I have to do and I'm going to feel so bad I didn't hit this target. These are things to aim for, to inspire you to do them. If you don't hit your protein goal for 1 day, 2 days, don't worry about it. As long as you're sticking to your calorie budget for the day, you will lose weight. If you blow your budget and you go over it, it's okay. You can either go for another walk, burn off a few more calories, or just restart the next day. It's okay. We need to also just relax, be a lot more chill about things so that we just keep going. We take a step or 2 back and then 3 steps forward. That's life. That's anything. That's making money. That's raising a kid. That's a relationship. That is how life goes. It's this constant dance. And I want you to start to realize that that is the same with weight loss. You need to also get to know your body as well. So get to know what works for you. And I'm sure by now, in your 40s, 50s, 30s, you know your body quite well. And yes, your body does evolve and change. When we hit perimenopause and menopause with the hormonal changes, things do change. They get harder in that there's not as much leeway. You know, you can't sort of crash, starve yourself and then binge eat and then just bounce back from that kind of thing. As you get older, you want to be a little bit more mindful, stick to a plan a little bit more seriously, try and do this as a lifestyle. You know what I mean? You know, you can't just sort of go for days eating nothing but baked beans on toast anymore. You need to think about your protein goals when you're older. You need to think about your fiber. You need to think about getting in all the right nutrients that your body needs. So yes, I've mentioned the McDonald's diet before in my videos. We don't want to be doing that, ladies. You don't want to be trying to lose weight, just eating crap, but just by sticking to a calorie budget. I want you to think health. I want you to think energy, stable blood sugar levels, doing the things that are good for you. Because now, as we get older, like I say, you can't really play around anymore. And not to be boring, you should be energized and enthused by eating the right foods, because you should be thinking, wow, I'm feeling so much better. I'm feeding my body what it actually needs, not what it craves. A craving is a different thing and it's something we need to manage, but you're feeding your body what it needs. So week 3, start thinking about this. I want you to start bulk prepping. Even if it's just 1 day you block out of the week, usually a Sunday is a good idea. Bulk cook a whole lot of protein. If you're vegan or vegetarian, you know, source your protein, the proteins that you would use in your meal plan. Bulk cook some rice, some quinoa, some barley, some whatever is the starch of your choice, potatoes, sweet potato. Have them on hand. A lot of these foods freeze really well. So just do a practice run. Week 4, now we can start thinking about adding in movement. If you don't already exercise, I want you to start off super slowly, super gently. Just add in 2 walks for the week. So now you have got your calorie budget and you are starting to meal prep. You're hopefully using your food tracking app, and now you are going to add in just 2 walks for the week. Week 5, I want you to try and start to bring it all together. Don't want you to obsess over the scale. You should be weighing yourself maybe once or twice a week. Even maybe start using a tape measure to track your waist measurement. And then week 5, just start to bring it all together and add in a 3rd day's exercise if you don't already exercise. Now, if you do exercise but you haven't seen results, you need to double down on your nutrition. So you've got your exercise routine that you are following, that's great, but you do need to, if you're not seeing results, either you are just plain overeating on your calorie budget, no guilt, no shame, or you are eating the wrong kinds of foods, sugary things, Starbucks, cappuccinos, frappuccinos. I'm guilty of those as well. You are not prioritizing salads, soups, stews, stir fries, fibery things, vegetables. Try and have protein and vegetables with your 3 main meals, and even your snacks. If those can be protein or fiber, that is a win-win. So you could have a snack, boiled egg, an apple, a piece of fruit. You can have vegetables for your snack. You don't have to have like a snack, like a protein bar or a protein shake. You could have a little bowl of healthy vegetables and some protein as a snack as well. Who's to say? You can actually have any meal at any time of the day as well. You don't have to have breakfast foods for breakfast. But of course, we get into this kind of traditional thinking mindset. If you are hungrier in the morning, you can have a bigger meal in the morning and have something really small at night if that suits you. You need to find what works for you. You need to also watch your intake of liquid calories. Now again, as we socialize, we tend to eat and drink and be merry, and I understand socializing is part of life. So build that into your plan in general. Allow yourself 1 or 2 days where you go out and you drink and socialize and be merry, and either cut back the next day or pre-plan it, work around those things or go for an extra walk. Now that is week 5. You're starting to synthesize everything you're learning. By week 6 now, I want you to see your progress, see where you're at, and actually sit down with a journal and see what have you struggled with, where did you fall off the bandwagon, what held you back, have you hit your goal weight, or are you on track to hit your goal weight? Maybe you haven't hit it yet. By week 6, you should have, in theory, at least lost 6 pounds, that is 3 kilograms, if you are sort of sticking to a plan. If you haven't, that's okay. Just reset, refocus, and see what you can do going forward. So now you have your calorie budget for the day. That shouldn't change until you hit your goal weight. When you hit your goal weight, and if you're eating to that calorie amount and you're happy, you're feeling energized, you're not starving all day long, then that is your maintenance amount of calories as well. If your weight's not dropping too low, that's your maintenance amount. Maintenance means this is the amount you eat and you stay at the same weight. It's really, these terms sound so fancy, but they shouldn't be fancy. That's all it means. Your maintenance could maybe go up, but usually it's just going to stay there. It's very boring, actually. Eating healthy, losing weight, it's doing the good things on repeat, things you know you should do. Sticking to a calorie budget, moving a little bit so that you are using up some of those calories. And then in week 6, I want you to really think about weight training. How are you going to incorporate some resistance training? You don't have to go crazy. You don't have to do bodybuilding kind of stuff, but some weight training gives you that quote unquote toned look that everybody wants because it's going to stimulate your muscle fibers. Cardio can only do so much. It's not going to really stimulate the muscle fibers. Well, it does stimulate them in a different way, and that's fine. Cardio, very good for your health, good for your mental health, good for so many things. And running is a form of resistance training in a way. It can help build bone density because you are obviously pushing off and gravity is helping you. But weight training itself will help you with your posture. It's going to help you look toned, that word again. It's going to help you function in your life. You're going to be strong enough to carry shopping bags. You can lift up your grandkids. You can climb stairs because now you've got strong glutes. You can squat down on the floor, pick something up. You can lift luggage and put it into the overhead compartment on the airplane. Weight training gives you functionality. And I would also add, you want to remember to stretch as well. You want to stay supple and flexible. And if you are older, this is just a little bonus tip. Please don't neglect balance training, which means you're going to stand on one leg and do exercises like that kind of thing as well. But anyway, that's going into a whole lot of detail for another day. But there is your step-by-step 6-week plan to weight loss. I'm going to recap it for you. The most important thing is finding your calorie budget. It's as simple as that. It sounds so boring, but it works. Therein, try and hit your protein goals. Try and hit your fiber targets. Protein should be 1 gram of protein per pound of lean or ideal body weight. So if your ideal body weight is, let's say, 100 pounds, okay, that's quite light, but let's say you're a small woman, you want to hit 100 pounds, you want to eat around 100 grams of protein a day. And then for most females, your fiber target should be about 20 to 25 grams of fiber. That is quite high. It is a lot. Just aim for it. Shoot for it. And if you don't get it, it's fine. At least you've done something rather than nothing. The same with exercise. I would recommend 4 days of strength training a week. If you don't get that, it's fine. Just aim for it. Some days you're tired. Some weeks you're busy and you can't fit it in. Aim to move a little bit every now and then. So try and move 4 to 5 days a week. As long as you're getting something in, you're ahead of the race. Don't give up if you can't do it perfectly. Don't throw in the towel if you have a bad meal, or if you go out drinking, or if you, whatever it is that you think is not good. Just keep doing the things you know you should be doing. Consistency is key. You want this to be sustainable for the long haul. And if you want all of my best advice packaged up in one book, I have it for you. It's the Ultimate Fat Loss Blueprint for Women. It's available on Amazon right now in paperback and in Kindle edition. I've put all my hard-earned knowledge, everything I've learned from competing and from helping dozens of women get into shape. I encourage you, grab it now. And if you would like this 6-week step-by-step action plan in a printable Word document, just email me at louisecorrins.yt@gmail.com and I will send it to you free of charge. Bye.